Hello and welcome back to another Brawl Stars video, and today we'll be tackling the duo challenge with myself and Legend. Let's get into the video. The first set is Skull Creek, with me as Edgar and Legend as Byron. Now on this map, I feel you want to get the boxes in your area quickly, then go to mid, with like the outside boxes in mid. Usually there will be the two boxes next to each other, so those will be easier to collect. Now, if you have more power cubes than one team and they're bunched up into a corner, you want to try and pinch them by one person going underneath and one person coming from the side, or depending on which area that is, where they're being pinched. And that's the first game won. Moving on to the second game, we're sticking to the same composition of Byron and Edgar. Now, if you're playing Edgar, you need to make sure you activate your gadget at the very start. That way you can get your super quickly and you can pick off some easy kills at the very start when nobody has any cubes. In Duo Showdown, you need to watch out with if one brawler is by themselves. Sometimes they will spawn back their teammate, and because they have an invincible bubble, they'll be able to kill you before you kill them. So watch out before you go and attack somebody on their own. And that's the second game won with 16 cubes. Moving on to the third game and the last game of this set. As you can see here, Legend and I are being pinched into mid, which is not a good thing because they'll be all trying to kill us because we're the easiest target where they can all shoot from all the corners. And so now we need to push out of mid and try and attack a team with lower cubes. And if you're playing Byron, remember to attack your teammates. That way you can heal them. Lots of people will forget that you can heal your teammates when you attack them with Byron. And that would be a wasted mechanic. So make sure you use that to the best of its thing. Just use it. That's the first set finished with 16 cubes again. Moving on to the second set on Feast or Famine. So with this tactic we have a Tara and a Jackie. Tara activates her gadget and Jackie goes into mid to collect all the cubes, while Tara goes on along the outside to collect the cubes over there. And remember that a second also counts as a win, but third doesn't. So sometimes if you are at a lower power cubes than all the rest of the teams, you want to camp it out and see if the other teams kill each other, and that way you can get a second place. But that's another win for us. Moving on to the second match, and we're doing the same comp again. Also keep in mind that Jackie can 3-shot Edgars and Mortises, so she can counter all the Edgars around. And that's yet another easy win for us. Moving on to the third match, we're doing the same comp again. With Tara, make sure to pop your gadget off at the very start, that way you can see into mid and see if there's any enemies nearby. Now Legend has gone down, and because this is going over a replay and he's just following himself, the camera angle is just stuck on that one place where nothing is happening. Sorry about that. We'll be coming in soon. And that, unfortunately, is our first loss. Moving on to the fourth game of this set, we are going the same comp again with Jackie and Tara. Quick taps on the Bull and the Edgar to scare them off. And try and control mid, but that didn't work, so we gadget and they nearly get deleted. Legend's nearly dead. He doesn't want to go in and risk dying. I come across that team while wandering and die. Luckily Legend is there to pick up the kill for that team and stay alive. Now, if you have a Tara and you do have Healing Shade, try and not make the shadow jump out of the bush. Otherwise, that will mean enemies can see that shadow and know that there is somebody in that bush. Otherwise, that shadow will be elsewhere. Just make sure of that. And also remember to only go for kills that you know you can get. So for this one, Legend knew he could take out that 1 cube Sandy because he had 8 cubes. But you are say a 0 cube Jackie and there's a 10 cube Edgar. There is no way that you're gonna kill him. Even though Jackie does counter Edgar, he has more cubes than you, so it's not gonna work. And that's this set done. My least favorite Showdown map, Feast or Famine. Now we're moving on to Rock or Brawl with Edgar and Byron. On this map, try and get the cubes spawned in your area and try go for mid, but if there's too many people, don't go for it. Also, the mid here is very easy for other people to go around and shoot you and pinch you, so watch out for that. Sadly, Legend dies to the jumping Edgar, and I can't do anything to save him from here because I don't have my super. When your teammate dies, you want to try and hide in a bush, so that way they can respawn back in and you make sure that your team is still alive and you're still in the game. Because if you try and rush off and do something stupid and get yourself killed, then you're gonna lose. In Duo Showdown, I find that people often go more aggro, including myself, because you have that other person to make sure that you're still in the game. Whereas in Solo Showdown, if you die, that's the end. But sometimes in, say, the Duo Challenge, you don't want to die too often, otherwise it's a disadvantage and you might lose. So just don't go aggro if you really want to win. But you can also win if you go aggro as well, but it's more of a risk. Right now, Legend and I are just camping it out because the other team has 11 cubes. So we're trying to make the 11 cube team target another team so that we have a higher chance of winning. And luckily for us, they do go for that team and kill them, so I just die in happiness. Moving on to the second game of this set, we're going same comp, Edgar Byron. And oddly enough, there's a double B team. Right here, even though the two Bs are on low health, I don't think Edgar should really jump on a B, especially in Showdown, because they might have Honeycoat, which makes them go to 1 health. And then they could delete you with their supercharged shot because B 2-shots you as Edgar. So, yeah. Right now we're in a very bad spot because we're in the middle of 2 teams. One team does have a 6-power cube Edgar which can jump on us, and the other team, well, right now they're breaking up. Their wall has been broken, so it's easier for them to get to us, and there's a team up top, so it's very hard for us to escape. We're just about to die, and we jump into the Jackie because I panicked, and Legend is gonna go down. That's unfortunately a loss. Moving on to the third game, we decided that Legend goes Jackie. That way he can counter any other any other Edgars coming our way. Legend is right now trying to go in and get a few taps on the Edgar and trying to control mid, but unfortunately the Surge is just too pressuring on Legend, and we don't want the Surge to charge his super. That way he can get his speed boost, and that way it's easier to charge his other supers for him to get extra range. Right now we're just camping, so I'll just speed this up for you guys. And the team just slowly walk into us, and guys, this is why you check the bush, because we just deleted them quite easily. You need to check the bush, and that way you know where they are, and that way you can run away. Now there's 11 cube Surge. The Edgar doesn't really want to jump on the Surge. He can easily 3-tap you, super, and jump and dunk on top of you, which is bad, because then it's easy for him to kill you. The Edgar stupidly jumps on me. As I have more cubes, it's easy for me to delete him. Now I try to jump on the Surge because his teammate dead, but he teleports away. Now he has his super. He uses it, which I think is not a great idea right now in this situation, because he wants to save it for so when I jump onto him, he can dunk. And his 4th power-up is not that useful, especially since this is duos where we don't clump up as much slightly. Right now, Legend is trying to just go in and try and poke the Edgar, but the Surge is keeping us pushed back with his longer range. Right now we're just trying to find a hole, so we dodge and try and get into a hole. Legend supers and kills the Edgar, and I try to get the Surge, but unluckily I die. But at least that's a win. Moving on to the next game. Unfortunately there's no boxes around us, so Legend gadget so we can try and get to mid quicker to grab some boxes. if you do decide to go into mid, make sure you have brawlers that can quickly take out boxes. That way you can get out and not get pinched. Because if you do take a long time, say you have a mortar set mid or something, and you're trying to get boxes, you 5-shot one box with no cubes. So any enemies can easily come up to you, and you have a slow reload speed. So it's very hard to kill any other enemies that come around you. And now we have more bush camping. And because we bush camped, we came second. Unless I somehow managed to beat them. Well, at least it still counts as a win. Moving on to the last set on Acid Lakes, and we're going Edgar Colt. Now you always want to get a quick kill at the start, so you could use your gadget, you could use your super, and don't try to be extra conservative with your gadget or your super, because that way you're just probably going to lose because you're not using it and then it's just wasted. So make sure you use it when you can, and just in case, because sometimes if you could have used your super, for example, but you didn't and you died, but if you used your super you would have killed the person who was trying to kill you, and that way you would have been kept alive. The 8-bit tried to do a big brain move there with his gadget that teleports him back to his super, but unfortunately it didn't work. I go off to kill the last team, and now it's Showdown. Unfortunately I die to the bee, and Legend kills the Byron, but can he make it? No, just by a little bit. The bee beats him. Moving on to the second game, and I had to go do something else. So Legend went off and played with randoms and abandoned me. So now he's playing with Smurfsup. Big shout out to Smurfsup because he helped Legend. Unfortunately for me, though I did do it later, and Legend could have waited I did it with one AFK Byron and one trash Edgar. And I unfortunately lost the last two games. Legend and Smurfsup have a nice power cube lead with 10 cubes, which is nice for them. It'll certainly give them an advantage. Legend and Smurfsup slowly help the other team pinch this middle team, which is good for them. Smurfsup goes and kills the running away Edgar, and it's Showdown. So now they pass through the next game. The bee just goes into the storm and activates Honeycomb, and Edgar dies mid-jump. And that's the second game done. Now to the last game of this set. Now I'm just gonna say this, I made the background thing because somebody was spamming Legend with notifications, and unfortunately he was not on Do Not Disturb. So I just cropped it in and put it in a background. That way you won't see too many blurry lines just popping around. And also, luckily for Legend, he got paired up with Smurfsup again, that OP Edgar. So there might be a chance Legend will be able to win with randoms. Right now he's just chipping away at this team, killing the Byron, then slowly killing the bee with his extra toxic poison that he does. Could he get the bee? Not quite. But Smurfsup jumps, and on Honeycoat, 1 health for a while. She dies, but his teammate respawns back in. Hopefully they'll be able to quickly kill him. And yes, they do. Now there's another team with the same comp, but now they have more power cubes than Legend's team. Legend's just trying to warn them off, but Smurfsup can't really do much because he's close range. And we meet this double Edgar team, double Byron team, which is nice. They get deleted easily, and it's Showdown, meaning he won, so Legend's just celebrating. That's the second challenge Legend has won, and unfortunately I couldn't win, sad. But at least one person got that super awesome bow skin, which doesn't have any special effects at all. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and subscribe again. And we'll see you next time.